Hello, everyone. Welcome to our unit on atoms and elements, or the field of chemistry. And this my favorite unit, really. As you probably know by now, maybe I have mentioned it at one point. My first degree is on chemical engineering, so chemistry is always a special part of my life. So, to complement your learning about this unit, you will be getting a science booklet specifically on atoms and elements. You would see the letter C there, fill it out with the field on chemistry. And interestingly, there are very good reading articles there that can enhance or add to your prior knowledge now about our unit on atoms and elements. So, first things first, what is an atom? So, you see the classic representation of an atom this way, right? So, the one in the middle, that's the nucleus. Think of it as the sun in our solar system. And this nucleus consists of the proton and the neutron. And moving around the nucleus would be the electrons. So think of the various planets in our solar system. So these are the subunits or subatomic particles of the atom. Electrons, negatively charged, the protons are positively charged, and neutron from the word neutral. So that would be zero charge. So atoms are the building blocks, and you can see again a visual diagram of the atomic structure. So atoms, meaning one throughout, one kind of atoms in a given element. And if you have groups of atoms, then that's the idea of the molecules now. So what is important here would be the path, which we call as the orbital or the shell. Now, sometimes we can have cations or anions. What does that mean? So it says here, since the number of protons in an atom does not change, fewer or extra electrons can create a special atom called an ion. Okay, cations have fewer electrons and have a positive charge. Anions have extra electrons that create a negative charge. So this assignment calls for using the concept builder. So in a concept builder, you have the representation of the element this way. You have the symbol. So Be is the symbol for beryllium. And you have a number on top. Think of it as an exponent or the superscript, and the number below or the subscript. So what do this number or numbers represent? So the one on top, that would be the mass number. How heavy is your element? And the number below or your subscript now refers to the number of protons, which is equal also to the number of electrons and equal to the atomic number. Remember that when we talk about atoms or the elements, they are basically electrically neutral. And of course, they got charged up when they get to combine with other elements to form compounds. So the idea of a neutron would be the atomic number, the number on top minus the number below, or that would be atomic number minus the number of protons. Now, the word atom, particle name, usually In this builder, you have the name of the element, and then you have a number there, which is the mass number, and the word atom. If there's an atom, basically electrically neutral, that's why the charge here is 0. Now, as you progress through the exercise through the use of the concept builder, you might encounter something like this. You have the symbol there, but then you have maybe plus 3, plus 2. If it's plus 1, they simply just say plus 1, okay? So that's why the charge here is plus 1 for the ion. So here, again, the number on top refers to the mass number, the number below, that refers to the number of protons equal to the number of electrons, also equal to the number or to the atomic number. And the number of neutrons, as always, would be the number on top, 40 minus 19, to give you the number of neutrons. So let's deal with the assignment at hand. So get the loose leaf and answer these questions after doing everything. What is a proton? What is an electron? What is a neutron? The idea of an ion and the idea of an isotope. So if I click the builder, you would be presented with something like this, okay? So don't bother filling out your name here. Just click on start, okay? So what's the whole point of this? So that you're able to determine or find the atomic number, the mass number, the number of protons, the number of neutrons, and the number of electrons for an atom or an ion of an element. So click start. Let's start with the basic or the apprentice level. And then after you're done with this, then you move on to the next and the last one. Then maybe going to give me some feedback or give me an example of some of the elements that you have encountered along the way. So if I click on this, begin apprentice. So here, you're given carbon, 14 atoms. So it's an atom, so I would know that the charge would be a 0, right? So the charges of all of this would be a 0. So if you want, you can even just click on that right away and write a 0. Here, you can even write a 0 here. And then concentrate now on what was discussed earlier. So carbon represented by capital C. Atomic number would be, as I mentioned in an earlier slide, the number below is the number of protons equal to the number of electrons, also equal to the atomic number. So this must be 6. This one is 6. And this one is also 6, right? So mass number, how heavy is the element? In the periodic table later on, you get to see it with decimal numbers, but we usually round it off so that we just deal with a whole number. So here, for instance, mass number, the one on top. So type out 14. And how do we get the number of neutrons? Number on top minus the number below. Or that would be the mass number, right? Minus the number of protons. So 14 minus 6. What do you think is the answer? If you're not sure about your math skills, 14. So you could always just use a calculator of your hand. 14 minus 6. Of course, I'm exaggerating here. I know you can do mental math. So this would be, yes, 8. Because 6 plus 8 is 14. So if you want, you can just check your answers. Great answers. Some cells still need completing, okay? And then you move on to the rest, right? So let's see. I exit this. And then let's try and see what we have here. But of course, I want you to complete all the rows there. And usually you can 5 rows. Okay. So here, all of these now are ions. And as you can see from the isotope symbols here, right? You can see that you have K plus, that would mean the charge is plus 1. Here, what do you see here? I can see a 3 plus, so plus 3. And of course, there is an understood one here, so you can just say 1, right? And this is 2 plus 2, and then 1 there, okay? So here, for instance, let's deal with this. I hope you can still remember this. Atomic number would be the number below, right? So that would be 19, and the mass number would be the number on top. That would be a 40. And how do I get the number of protons again? Yes, the number of protons is equal to the atomic number and also equal to, what is that? Yes, also equal to the number of electrons here. So this should also be 19. Now, how do I get again the number of neutrons? So that would be number on top minus the number below, or that would be the atomic number minus the number of protons. So 40 minus 19, 21. So you can have 21 here. And of course, you can always check your answers. Oops, not all answers are correct. So maybe where did we mess up? So we can just review this. So 40, or maybe just because we're not yet done with the rest. But let's review what we have done here. Atomic mass, how heavy it is, would be the one on top. So would be 40, right? And this would be 19 and 19 and 19. 40 minus 19, are we correct there? 40 minus 19, I think so. That would be at 21. And then you have to continue, okay? And in case it is wrong, try and figure out why it is wrong. But you always go back to our representation here, right? When we said that the number on top would be the mass number, right? And the number below, that would be the number of protons, which is also equal to the number of electrons, which is also equal to the atomic number, right? So, and the number of neutrons would be mass minus the protons, okay? So hopefully this will help you out. Just have a good exercise on using the concept builder. And there are more concept builders that can be used to kind of just, I'll let you practice on getting the PEN, the protons, the electrons, and the neutrons. Okay, that's it for now, Falcons. Thank you. Ciao for now.